What is going on, guys? Welcome back. In this video today, we're going to learn how to use generative AI models on Google Vertex AI, specifically models like Gemini, for example. And this is going to be especially interesting for those of you guys who are in the EU and need to rely on EU data residency, for example, for compliance reasons. If you like this video, let me know by hitting a like button and subscribing. But now, let us get right into it. Alright, so this is going to be quite straightforward and quick today. We're going to learn how to use Google's AI models via Google Vertex AI in the cloud platform. So we're not going to use the Google AI Studio where you can create a project and just have the free tier and you can just get an API key and ping the model or interact with the model. We're going to learn how to set this up properly as a Google Cloud project with the Vertex AI API enabled, which of course has the benefit that we can also specify a location, specifically interesting for those of you guys who are, for example, from the EU, like me, or maybe other more regulated areas where you have to make sure that the data doesn't leave the continent or area. So for example, for compliance reasons, you might have to enforce EU data residency. You need to make sure that the client's information remains in the EU, and this is what we're going to do in this video today. Now, I need to mention though that none of this is legal advice, so I'm not taking any responsibility here for any legal stuff. I'm just showing you how to do it programmatically. Whether that conforms 100% with the compliance of your specific use case, that is something that a lawyer has to answer. I'm just going to show you how to set this up so you can use a location in Google Vertex AI. So what we're going to do first is we're going to create a new project. I'm going to click here on new project in the Google Cloud Console. If you don't have an account here, just create a Google account, log into console.cloud.google.com, and then you're going to basically have no project. You're going to create a first new project. And in my case, I'm going to call this now Vertex Testing Tutorial. And I already have a billing account connected. All you have to do if you don't have it is you just have to add a credit card or something, because of course you need to pay for the usage. So just connect a billing account, and once you have this, create the project, select the project, and now we need to go up here to Vertex AI API, which is not the same as Vertex AI because that's going to get you to this interactive environment. You want to go to the API and you just want to enable it. So here, click on enable. And once this is done, you want to go to the sidebar, to the navigation menu. You want to go to IAM and admin, and you want to go to service accounts. This is how we're going to interact with this using a service account. So here I'm going to click on create service account. I'm going to call this, I don't know, Vertex test account or something. That is also going to be my ID. Doesn't really matter too much in a professional project, of course. Set up the description and everything. And the only thing we need to add here is a role called Vertex AI user. So just look for Vertex AI user, and this is the thing that we need to add. This is the permission, the role we need to add to this service account. So just make sure you have this, continue. Then we can leave this empty, done. And that's basically it. We create a service account, then we click into this service account and we go to keys. So here now we're going to click on create key or add key and then create new key. We're going to go with the JSON format. I'm going to click on create. And this now allows me to save the JSON file on my system. So I just have to store it in my directory that I'm going to be working in my case, the tutorial directory, save. And the rest now is just coding. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to open up a new terminal. I'm going to go to my tutorial directory. Here now I'm going to initialize a project. Do that however you like. I usually go with UV and do UV init, which is a Rust-based Python package manager. You can also just do pip install or whatever. And in my case, what I want to install here is, on the one hand, Google-Gen AI. This is the Google package for interacting with their generative AI models. And also, in order to load environment variables, I'm going to install python-env. So that's that. And now I'm going to create a file.env. We don't have an API key, but I still like to keep the information that points to the credentials here in the .env file. In our case, we're going to point to our credentials here, to the JSON file. And we do that by saying Google_application_credentials is equal to, and then you want to point to the file. So in our case, let me leave this here. The file is called this. So I'm going to copy this string. I'm going to go back into my .env file and I'm going to just paste it here. What you can also do if you want to, I'm not going to show how to do that here, is you can use gcloud, the CLI tool. You can just say gcloud, and then I think it's gcloud auth or gcloud application default auth, or both of them. and then you can just automatically be authenticated on your system. Otherwise, you have to point to the credentials, and here the JSON file will be loaded if this is in the environment. If I may for a second, I would like to plug myself in as the sponsor of my own video. If you go to my website, neural9.com, you will find a tab Services and a tab Tutoring. Here you can hire me for all sorts of stuff like data science, machine learning, web development. If you need help with something in a project, here you can book me for one-on-one tutoring if you want me to teach you personally something that you don't understand. If you like my teaching style, on both pages at the bottom, you can contact me via mail and also via LinkedIn. Just wanted to let you know about this. Now for the code itself, let's create a file main py. In my case, since I'm using UV, a default file was created. I'm going to delete everything. And we're going to keep it simple. All we need to do here is, on the one hand, of course, from .env import load.env. This is just for loading the environment variables. And then I'm going to also say from Google import GenAI. Cool. And then what we do is we create a client. This is going to be an instance of GenAI.client. And this is actually the exact same thing we do if we want to use an API key. We just say here API key is equal to, and that would be the way to do it with this AI Studio, just prompting the model no matter where it is, no project related to it. That would be the typical way, or the simple way to do it. With Vertex AI, we have to provide 3 parameters. One is going to be, first of all, that we want to use Vertex AI. So Vertex AI is going to be true. This means now we're not using the AI Studio, we're using Vertex AI. And the second thing is the project identifier. Now, this is not always exactly the project name. In my case, it is, because nobody uses a name like this. But for example, here you can see I have a project, Vertex project abbreviated. You can see that this got a number attached to it because it already existed. So this has to be globally unique. Because of that, make sure that you're actually copying this ID here and not the name of your project. So in my case, Vertex testing tutorial. And then here is where the EU data residency comes in. You can specify a location. Location is equal to Europe West 4, for example. That would be, I think, the Netherlands. I think 9 is Paris. I'm not sure about this. You have to double check. But you basically have the European locations. You can also go with US or Asia or something, whatever you want to use. And basically when you have this, everything is the same. So if you have used it before with an API key, you can just continue to use it as before. It's the exact same code. It's just a different way of initializing it. If you haven't used it before, this is how you use it. You say response is equal to client.models.generate content. Then you provide the model. In my case, I'm going to go with Gemini -1 point, or actually not 1 point. Let's go with 2.0 Flash. And then the contents are going to be some prompt like, hello, what is Python? ? Then I just say print response.text. And now, of course, you can do much more complicated stuff. You can do structured output. You can build use cases around it. But essentially, if you do it like this, I can now say UV run main.py. This is going to then give me a response. And of course, I have a typo here. It's 1T, not 2 at this point. And now let's go UV run. Now it works. As you can see, I get a response from Google Gemini 2.0 Flash, and this has happened via Europe. So as far as I understand it, this means that the data never left the European Union, which means it should be at least better for compliance. But again, none of this is legal advice. This is just how I understand it. And that's basically what I wanted to show you, because I need this for a project right now myself. This is just a way that you can do this via the Google Cloud Project. So you have it with all your other projects and integrations. You don't have to do it via a separate AI Studio or something. That is how you can use Google's models via Vertex AI. So that's it for this video today. I hope you enjoyed it and hope you learned something. If so, let me know by hitting a like button and leaving a comment in the comment section down below. Also, if you're interested, on my website, you can find a tutoring and a services tab. There you can book me, or message me at least, for one-on-one tutoring and one-on-one teaching, or also for services related to backend development, machine learning, whatever you're interested in. You can contact me there via email or LinkedIn. Other than that, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell to not miss a single future video for free. Besides that, thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video, and bye.